Okay, team, good afternoon. It's March 4th, about 2:30. Mid-afternoon update on the changes over here. We've got both windows going, so let's just get right into the code. Getting into the pattern analysis stage of creating a trading robot. Just a little background. I'll skip the diatribe because it gets just boring with nothing on the screen going on. So we can talk about the code. This is the initial pattern analysis code, which is just stub Python, and then it runs a couple functions here like go and detect the new high and low for the day. And so this is the stock code that just analyzes the data. So the challenge was, how do we get that into this piece right here? The pattern and analyzer. So pretty happy with it right this second because functionality, we just pick a symbol that we're tracking and we have these patterns to pick from, and we'll just say, okay, give me the daily high and low, and then it goes and says, okay, today the daily high at 11:50 and the daily low at 12:52. So let's just verify what that looks like with our back-end data. Sometime around 11:50 and then 12:52 we're at the low of the day. So looking good. Our pattern analyzer code doing what it needs. Let's just say we've got another pattern here. We wanted to find out, well, holy cow, wait, what kind of patterns can we run? So we want to be able to extend this, and let's get into the code on how this actually operates. Just getting briefly into the framework again, we're constructed in, this is the whole site, and then we've got routes, services, static, which is JavaScript, CSS, forget system, but templates, this is all our HTML code. So the layout is the route handles all requests. System services are services. So real quick, we step into the route pattern analyzer and we say, okay, what's going on here? So the pattern analyzer, when it boots up the route, the home route, we go and we say, go get all the patterns available. So let's look at that. Let's go get our patterns available from the service. Go get patterns available. Now, what we're doing is we're actually taking a look inside of here, this folder right here called patterns, and we're looking at all the files in here, and then we're looking for any functions which start with the word detect pattern. So now I can extend the whole framework with any number of patterns that I want just by creating new code, and then that'll just show up in the GUI. I need to pin these to the GUI, so right. We're in the route. Home route. So we go and we get all the patterns available and we present that to the web page, and then there's obviously JavaScript which sends that request back to be run. So this is the run pattern. So we come in here and we say, okay, well, what's the pattern? And then this is the trick that we're doing is, again, we go and we see, okay, get the patterns available from this code. Now, the fun, interesting part about this whole thing is that to import them dynamically for use in the back end, we need to actually import that into Python using this import module. So how do we create files dynamically inside of here, and then they just magically appear in the framework? We could just create a new file inside and then add a new pattern. Nonetheless, this is how this is working, is it's dynamically listing this directory and finding functions, which the function name starts with detect underscore pattern underscore. So any function named detect underscore pattern, patterns, detect pattern daily, high, low. Okay, we go and we detect what's the high of the chart and what's the low of the chart, and then we return that as results in JSON, which gets displayed down here in the response area. Well, I think that's it. I think that's the essential overview of pattern analysis for what are we trying to do anyway with an automation. If it's a new high, a new low, an RSI, Fibonacci retracement, we need some sort of analyzer to say, okay, here is your analyzed data. So we've implemented a pattern analyzer stage, which is tying it all in. If we kick these two guys off, if you will, in a moment, it gets boring at this point, so feel free to tune out. But listening to this cool music down here, promoing, go search up on YouTube. This is what's playing in the background here. If we just see what's going on in the automation world here. So the polling quotes processor is polling. It's done it 5 times. We're doing some aggregation on this layer. We're backfilling, and then we have this new pattern analysis task, which is going in and analyzing the data that's being collected by the back end. Pretty soon we'll be ready to undo a new can of worms and take action on the data. Midday updates